5 skate tricks beginners should avoid in Games of Skate. I was inspired to make this video because Braille Skateboarding recently put on a Game of Skate tournament that I was a part of. The thing is, in skateboarding there's typically no rules, and at first this tournament wanted to proceed without rules to where we could do any trick we wanted. But we found the conflict, and towards the end of the tournament we instilled the barracks rules.
This is flat ground only, but that doesn't mean anything on flat ground counts. No feet on the ground, that means no complies, no hand plants, no bonuses, no grabs. You know how many things that we got from no complies? Complaints?
If you don't know, Barracks is a skateboard website, and their most popular series is this Game of Skate tournament. In this tournament, there are 5 types of tricks you're not allowed to do. So today, I wanted to talk about these tricks and why they're not allowed and how it affected the tournament that I was a part of. That being said, in actual skateboarding, there shouldn't be a single trick that you don't dabble in at least a little bit. It's all fun. It's just in these Games of Skate. Tricks number 1, no grab tricks. This is funny to me because I grew up not liking grab tricks. I thought they were kind of a cop-out, an easy evolution from an ollie. All you had to do was bend down and touch the board at a certain part, and it was technically a new trick. And I thought it's more advanced if you learn how to do a completely different trick like an ollie than a kickflip. And this is actually true. I've heard Jaws say that when he wants to do a kickflip down something easier, he grabs the board. If there's doubt, grab the board. And a lot of people felt similarly, which is why the Barracks didn't allow this trick. No complies. I love no complies a lot. I think they're some of the coolest tricks, but a lot of times when you put one foot on the board and you make your board kind of spin out of control, a lot of things can happen that were unintentional. A little too hard to determine the validity of the trick. Even with just flip tricks alone in Games of Skate, there's still thousands and thousands of possibilities of tricks you can do. So I think this is their way of trying to limit it at least a little bit. If it were up to me, I probably would include no complies. I'm just trying to think realistically of why maybe the audience wouldn't like to see it. Number 3, no bonelesses. I'm okay with this. I used to try to do bonelesses when I first learned skateboarding. I think they're actually a really good trick for beginners to try to mess with. But it's just one of those things where not only are you doing a grab trick, but you're also doing a no comply, so it's just a combination of the 2 things you're already not allowed to do. Number 4 is no hand plants, which should be pretty obvious, but yeah, that's putting your hands on the ground. And for a lot of skateboard tricks, people don't count the tricks if your hands touch the ground. Now, number 5 is obviously just a silly one, but it's called no Malto manual bullshit. In a Game of Skate with Sean Malto, he did a manual combo, a pop shove it nose manual, nollie flip. Obviously this is hilarious and he was just messing around with the guy he was competing against, but manuals also don't count in Games of Skate. Now the thing is, those are the 5 rules when it comes to the Barracks, but what happens when you have a Game of Skate tournament held by Braille Skateboarding and at first they say we're just gonna have fun? There are no rules. You learn very quickly that people will be upset if you don't set some sort of boundaries because we can get away with anything. The most prime example was the game with Johnny Geiger versus Andy Anderson. There were a lot of tricks that a lot of people in the audience didn't want to count. Every game before this game was traditional and people kind of just followed the Barracks rules instinctively. Andy Anderson, being the creative genius he is, sort of just wants to go out of the bounds and see what he could get away with because he was playing Johnny Geiger. And whoever won this game is the person I would have to go up against. During the game, you could see how frustrated Johnny was getting. You could see how frustrated the audience was getting, how Gabe was getting. It was a mess. But to Johnny's credit, he can do pretty much anything on a skateboard, so he actually started playing dirty along with Andy Anderson and came out on top. That sounded so bad. Honestly, I was feeling a little nervous. I had to go against Johnny Geiger, a flat ground god. So in my first game, I went up against McNugget. The funniest thing is that he did a frontside flip and Gabe made him redo it, and it totally should have just counted. And then all of a sudden everybody was saying Gabe Gate. Gabe basically became the target of this entire Game of Skate, and when tricks didn't count or counted, people would just blame him. The judge has to be the hardest part of these tournaments. I felt so bad for him because I know he was just trying his best, but it was kind of fun to watch him crumble. Because he's a tough guy. I know he can handle it and make a joke out of the whole thing, which he did. In these Games of Skate, we were actually playing skaters, so we had 2 extra letters, but I ended up getting an S on a hard flip, but I did end up winning that first match. And then I had to go up against Mowgli, someone who actually rides for my company Progress Daily, and of course, I was extremely intimidated. Before the game, Mowgli said, hey, I'm gonna pick Rock, which is like a technique people use to throw people off before a game, which I found, I was like, bro, why are you trying to throw me off? But I know Mowgli so well that I actually knew he would do Rock, because that's just the way he works, and I can read him, that's my boy. So in that game, when I won, I actually knew he was gonna do that, and I won, and then I won the game, and I didn't get a letter in that game. Now, I haven't practiced flat ground in a long time. I do it every day, but I don't really practice it. The game before Chris McNugget, I wanted to see what tricks I could definitely do every single try. Tricks that I could do 10 in a row easily if I wanted to. So this is the last trick I would do. Once I figured out those 30 tricks or so, I just did those. When the game would start, I would just pick between any of those tricks and I would just do them. And honestly, everything had changed when I found this perfect flat ground. When I found this, I knew that I had a good chance of competing because it's finally perfect. And I'm used to skating bad, pretty rough ground. I live in New York City. The truth is, before the Johnny Geiger game, I knew I was gonna win the Rochambeau. I've watched a lot of games of skate of Johnny. He's really fun to watch, and I went back and observed what he did at the beginning of the games. So when we went into the game, I won the Rochambeau right away. From there, I just had to make sure that I landed the 30 to 40 tricks that I could do every try, and it ended up actually working out. I felt a lot of pressure in this game because it was a real tournament. There were people who were picking sides. A lot of people in the audience were going like, go Johnny, Team John, Team Mowgli, and I just felt like, oh my gosh, I think I have to like seriously try hard to win this thing. In the game of skate with Johnny though, I went first and I landed those tricks, and then Johnny didn't actually end up getting a turn. It would have been more fun for me for him to get turns, but I wasn't gonna intentionally fall. So I was trying harder and harder tricks, and I kind of expected to fall on one of them, and in that game I just happened to get, well, lucky is one way of saying it, but you know, tricks that I practice every day, all day. I wanted to have a game of skate that really pushed me, and in these games of skate, as fun as they were, I didn't get to like, you know, battle someone. It was just kind of like me go and then the game ends. So I wanted to like compete. And then I played Sam Tabor via live stream on Braille. I don't even know if this video will ever be seen by people, but we had the best game of skateboard that I've played in so long. He was using his handboard and I was using a real skateboard, and it was legit. It was so fun. But more than ever, this tournament gave me a lot of confidence. It made me feel really good on my skateboard, and it made me feel like I can do a lot more tricks because I can do flip tricks consistent. I can do them well, so why am I not doing those tricks onto rails more, onto ledges more? There are so many flip tricks, simple flip tricks that I can do that I haven't done to a tail slide yet, to a nose slide yet. And this has given me the spark that I need to finally go learn those tricks. But it is Sunday, the skate parks are closed, and it's rainy, so we're going to play here a little bit more. This has been my saving grace. It's like it's so fun. my friends, is the end of this video. I wanted a clever way to talk about the game of skate because I know a lot of people are asking me about how it went down. Did I practice for it? What's up with it? Blah, blah, blah. So that's what this video is, and hopefully you have some context on Games of S.K.A.T.E. I talk so much about them that in the future, it's one of the easiest, most fun ways to, I think, compete against your friends. It's the simplest way. I think skateboarding needs more little games like that you can play with your friends, have a little competition here and there if you're into it. It was a really fun time. So humans, I'll see you every Tuesday and Thursday for another video. Of course, every Wednesday, yeah, pretty much every Wednesday, there's a new video on my Progress Daily channel. The newest one killed it. People were so excited to see videos about Carlos Lastra. I'm really excited that that channel is doing so well and getting so many eyeballs. So humans, I'll see you next time. Love you so much. Progress Daily and keep killing it!